Hello, this is Dave Hammer. Today I'd like to share an experience I had at the 2013 IBA Blacksmith Conference in Tipton, Indiana. This video shows how the Brotherhood of Friendly Hammermen forged a large split cross. The demonstrators include, from left to right, Steve King, Richard Hammer, Jeff Reinhardt, Dave Kunkler, Jason Harden, and Bill Kunkler. I don't have video of them preparing the billet, but I'd like to show you how it was made. They started with a 27-inch length of 3x3 solid square bar. They cut a center cut 19 3/4 inches long. And they made a second center cut 90 degrees off of that from the other end, 12 inches long. Then 7 1/4 inches was cut off of one end. The area of the billet where the center cuts overlap is heated in a specially built forge. This forge was built by Jeff Reinhardt. When the billet is hot enough to start forging, they bring it over to a fixture they've made to hold it while they bend the arms of the cross out. Jason Harden and Dave Kunkler developed this fixture. That which they set into that fixture is actually the bottom of the cross. They'll use a wedge to open up the 12-foot center, or the 12-inch center cut, and then they'll use opening levers to pull those apart. Those levers were designed by Steve King. They'll open this up just about 45 degrees. They can't do it all at once. This is the 7th cross of this size they've made, and they've learned a number of lessons about the process of getting from the billet to an open and flattened cross so that it comes out aesthetically pleasing. They'll take that out and they'll put one of those other legs in, one of the legs they bent out, into the fixture. After they get that into one of the other legs into the fixture, then they'll use a wedge again to start opening the other center cut. Opening this center cut is the start of opening the top of the cross and the bottom of the cross in a vertical plane. They've opened it. You can see two different sized legs. The longer leg is the bottom of the cross. They put the bending levers back on. And they'll open that up part way. Not all the way, part way. This billet will hold its heat for quite a while. They'll bring it over to the floor and take those probably to about 45 degrees. This is difficult. This is a lot of steel that they're moving here. It's forging with levers rather than a hammer. They will be using a hammer on it in a little while to flatten that cross out and then to texture it. Now they've gone more than 45 degrees on that. They'll take the bending levers off and turn that, and then go back to the horizontal bars of the cross. They do this a little at a time. Like I said, they've developed a process that works for them to get it to open up evenly so that the center is a pleasing shape. They'll go back now and work on the vertical, in the vertical plane of the cross. The center of that cross will not be laying down flat. They don't achieve that with these bending bars. After this is done, they'll take it back to the fire. And then they'll work on they'll go as far as they can, then they'll take it back to the fire, then they'll take it over an anvil. A non-traditional anvil, but it's still nonetheless an anvil. See, they're tweaking, they're just tweaking here. Straightening things out. Okay, they've got it ready to go back into the fire. They'll bring the billet back over to the forge, and they'll nestle it down into the coals, cover it to heat that center again. Now you can see that center is not flattened, and they want that flat. They want all those arms of the cross to be in the same plane. This takes a while to heat up. This forge is cranked by hand. They tend to fire, building up the coal and flames to heat that whole center. When they feel like it's hot enough, the center, to level that center, they'll bring it back out over this special anvil. The bottom part of that is actually a axle, a forged axle or something, and the top is a piece of about 10-inch solid round. We will work on this a little bit at a time on each portion of the cross, of bringing that down to level, the center down to level, so the all the legs are in the same plane. This is done carefully, so they're not damaging any of it. They'll come back later and texture each arm. This is a process that they've figured out over the last 6, how to do it best to get the best shape for the cross. It seems like that cross would just bend and go open, you know, to a nice pleasing shape, but it doesn't if you're not careful. You'll get one horizontal arm slightly higher than the other, or you'll get the top part of the vertical beam on the cross off to the left or to the right. They turn it over and over, working it a little bit at a time. It takes several heats to do this. They use one hammer to hit and shape, and the other hammers to hold. We can see here that they continue the tweaking. A little bit at a time, everybody's working, everybody knows their job. Getting this flat and everything lined up is a long process. Next comes the texturing of each of the cross legs. They first do the top. See 3 strikers. I'm just going to sit and watch most of this. See them working in unison. This is a nice sight to watch people working together. The left side of the horizontal. They've actually got it almost done. Bring up the right side of the horizontal. Richard gets to do some texturing here. You guys are working together very well. In the back he's asking, can he join in? And of course he can. We're going to see 4 strikers working together here. Jeff will start it out. There we go. It's a piece of art working on a piece of art. We'll watch this side get finished up. They go on next to do the bottom part of the cross after a little while. Excellent. They measure that each time to make sure that it's
perfect. It just needs to be textured.
Consistent. They went on to finish texturing the lower leg of the cross. These 4 stills are detail of each leg of the cross. Nice work. They not only textured, but they've spread. This is the bottom leg, and it shows the touch marks of each of those that worked on it. Richard Hammer was a guest for this effort. This is the final product. It went into the conference auction. It sold for about $600. Some interesting information. We'll look at a couple stills here, a few stills of them working. There was always one person responsible for watching the progress to make sure that they didn't do something they shouldn't and end up with a product of less quality. Here's the crew. This is before the finish was put on the cross. This was a great project with a great crew. Thanks for watching.